Welcome back to Wolf Media, Pack of the Net, episode 19. Again, some small numbers on previous episodes, but we're here. We keep going. We keep doing what we do. So Premier League's back. Some big transfers happened. The Handicap League is set off. The train is set off, and if you're into it, the Fantasy League. So a lot to talk about. So we're going to try and keep this as short as possible because no one wants to watch me babble for the next half an hour. So we'll go straight into it. We'll clear off the transfers first. Some big names happened in the last week. Ezri Konsa has gone from Villa to Arsenal. That's huge for Arsenal as a backup to Gabriel Saliba. They seem to bolster out their squad, and they needed to because of all the competitions they were in last year and again this year. But it's a huge loss for Villa. I don't know where they're going to go from here. Their players are going. I think Watkins will probably go. Martinez is probably off. Tielemans gone to United. Some big names. Obviously Rodgers to Chelsea, and now Ezri Konsa's gone. So Villa will struggle this season, and we'll get into the results in a bit. But yes, it's not looking good for them at all. Aaron Wan-Bissaka joins Villa as obviously probably a bit of a replacement type from West Ham. This obviously makes sense. Some of the signings Villa have made sense, but obviously they're losing big characters and a lot of experience and goals, so they need to bolster attack and fast. Tajani Reinders, this came as a bit of a shock. Going to Saudi Arabia, El Qadsiya, if that's how you say it, especially after such a short term at Man City. But it seems like again Man City are losing players. Like Rodri's gone. Other players are going as well. I think Nico Gonzalez wants to go as well. Some big changes. It's because of the managers. The managers are going. And as previously mentioned in early episodes, like Arteta's laughing. He's in pole position to own this league in the next few years. Another big signing. Ruggieri again to Villa. Another good signing. Again, they need him. Bolster out their squad. But Villa fans, I want to hear from you. I know it's probably been tough for obviously seeing opponents now like Newcastle obviously struggling as well, but Villa, I feel they could be in big trouble based on their seasons, but teams like Tottenham can spend for fun, so I'm sure a lot of people have covered this, but this is just my opinion on it. I think Villa will struggle and be braced for a non-European season next season, but we'll see. Sanchez from Sevilla to Bournemouth, again it's not an unknown, but obviously, Bournemouth tend to do this. They sell players, replace them, and they end up being worldies. Although again, it's a different manager. It's not Areola. So will Rosa get the best out of him? We don't know. But Bournemouth had a good start, but we'll get into that. Enciso, he was excellent when playing for Brighton, etc. Obviously went to Strasbourg and now he's at Ipswich. Again, we'll get to the results of the weekend, but outstanding from him. Taiwo Awoniyi, is that how you say it? From Forest to Coventry, this makes sense. It's just down to game time. I think Coventry need a bit of a Premier League experience up top as well, so he should do well for them if he can even bag 10 goals. That's a good campaign. So those are the transfers. Some big ones. I'm sure some big ones to come as well. With obviously a week to go, but keep your eyes peeled on those big moves. So those are the transfers. So let's get on to Gameweek 1. Premier League is back, and it shows why it's one of the best leagues in the world. Starting on Friday night when Arsenal beat Coventry 3-0. An excellent champions performance. Obviously both of these are champions, but obviously they're from the different leagues, and that golfing class is it's a huge step. I'm sure Coventry will turn it around. Playing away from home at Arsenal on the first day of the season isn't exactly the best to start off with, but Arsenal could have been a lot more than 3, so I guess that's the positive to take from it. But Arsenal do what Arsenal do best at the moment, and that's score goals. I'm sure throughout the season they're going to keep it tight, but Arsenal have done some good business this window as well, and it's going to take some stopping to stop them, that's for sure. So that was Friday night. On the Saturday early game, Hull beat Man United. This came as a massive shock. Hull obviously coming up by the playoffs, getting into the playoffs on the final day of the season. People kind of wrote them off even coming up, me included, to be fair. But they're up. They're now joint top after a win and a clean sheet against Man United, of all teams. Obviously Man United had a really, really good season once Carrick took over. Thinking the momentum of that and the end of last season would kick over to this season, it certainly didn't do that. Hull could have easily scored more goals. United did get unlucky, to be fair, and the Hull keeper did do some really, really good saves, so this could have been anything, but the 2-0, well deserved. But I'm sure they need to get the points on the board as quick as possible, because they could, like every other team, they're going to hit a roadblock at some point. Let's just hope it's not against the big boys to make this league interesting. So Forest Leeds managed to grab this late winner, which obviously gave them the 3 points. This was always looking like a low scoring game, just based on the firepower each team have got, which isn't much. I think both teams could probably do with a Bolton attack, but Leeds came out victors, and again they're joint top of the league with Arsenal, so you can't complain out of that. Ipswich took on Sunderland. This was a late winner as well. A very, very good game, back and forth. Both teams scored, obviously, and Ciso, as mentioned before, was outstanding in this game. He just couldn't be touched. He was quality. The drive was there, pick the ball, turn, go. Very, very good. Sunderland probably underestimated them a little bit, but Sunderland have a very, very long season ahead of them with Europe, so they need to keep their players as fit as possible. So they're going to get these blips throughout the season. It just happened to be one of the lower boys, which isn't a bad thing, but really, really well played from Ipswich. Everton grinded out a 2-0 victory over Palace. I say grinded because this could have been anything. Attempts from both teams. This is one of the most outstanding games of this weekend. Just happened to be not many goals, but Everton did manage to get the win. Both teams put in a really good performance, and Palace start off on the wrong foot after Glasner's left, and I'm sure Bruno Lage will implement his playing style and get it back to winning ways sooner rather than later. And then as for this, well, Brentford beating Tottenham 3-0. This was mad. I've written off Brentford a little bit at the start of the season. I didn't have them going down, but certainly not as high as last year. And Tottenham I have, obviously not in the top 6, but Tottenham should be doing better. But we all know it takes time to embed players. Even Pep in his first season finished, I think it was it 4th or 5th? It wasn't outstanding. Everyone needs time to embed players. Use Slot as an example. He obviously inherited the Jurgen Klopp team, hence why they won the league. Obviously he had to manage the team, he did very, very well, but the second time round, not as much, because you're moving players on, bringing new ones in, bed them in. It's very, very difficult to do. But this was bizarre. But Brentford, really, really good. Their midfielder that they got in, is it Kabore loads of football this weekend. I've lost track, but he was outstanding. Their record-breaking signing, Sangare. That's it, Sangare. He was outstanding. Ran the game, and the 3-0. Well, they could have been 4 because they had a penalty missed as well from Thiago of all people, who had a really good season last season. I'm sure that might knock his confidence a bit, but this win is huge. Tottenham need to look at what they're doing, and I'm sure De Zerbi will get it right eventually. The next game has to be some sort of result to counter that, because that was not the best of starts at all. On to Man City Bournemouth now. This one was going to a 0-0, but then it kicked into life. Bournemouth scored. Bournemouth played really, really well, but then Man City of the clash showed in the end, the very end as well. A very, very controversial, I'd say, offside potentially. It didn't look like the still picture was the same as the one with the lines on, but that's just my opinion. So Man City scraped this win out of nowhere, which obviously keeps them on target with Arsenal, because that is probably the contest this year, Arsenal and City. But Bournemouth, hold your head up high. They didn't get any points out of this, but you should have done at least a point. On to Brighton, Aston Villa now. Well, as I said previously, Aston Villa are in a mess. Brighton were 4-0 up in half an hour. Villa had a man sent off, managed to contain themselves, but I think Brighton were just reserved after going so far ahead. They'd won the game. The game was won, in the bag, and Villa have some huge problems to think about. And they've also got Europe as well. So it's going to be a very, very long season for Unai Emery, but he's a master of Europe. And from the job he's done over the last couple of years, having to sell players and make money and stuff like that, it's incredible the job he's done. One of the best coaches in the league, for sure. Newcastle, Liverpool scraped, and I mean scraped a point. Should this have gone on so long? Very dubious. After Newcastle's transfers out this season, I did think they were going to struggle big time. Obviously, Liverpool did struggle in the game as well. They're both defences a bit poor, but Newcastle looked like they were going to grab all 3 points, and then the penalty. Going to nearly 100 minutes is crazy, but they share the points. I'm sure at the start of the game, if Newcastle were given a point, they'd take it. Liverpool probably would have won all 3, but should be happy with the point, especially after the game they played. So overall, probably happy. Fulham Chelsea, this was the Monday night. I've had Fulham down to go down. I can see why. Obviously scoring 2 goals, positive, but Chelsea were quality. Cole Palmer, if he plays like that for the rest of the season, we have the Cole Palmer back for sure. He was outstanding, and Chelsea need him fit and firing all season long, and no European football, which is a blessing. So there we have it. There's the results. My little in-depth of each game. Very, very good opening weekend. Plenty of goals. A goal in every game. So someone had to celebrate something. Which takes us on now to our Premier League Handicap League. Based off all these results, we've now obviously added them in. So this is after Gameweek 1. So I think we've had one person join the league. They went for Leeds. Obviously Leeds did pick up the victory, so they've managed to leapfrog Fulham and Brentford. No, just Fulham. Leapfrog Fulham and level on points with Sunderland. They are obviously still 21 points behind Hull, and that's how the handicap works. If you're not sure, please just you can still get involved. We'll find a way to get the points to you, but it's just a bit of fun, and there's going to be some prizes along the way. But this is it. After Gameweek 1, Arsenal still have some work to do. They're still 52 points behind, which is what they started with, because obviously Hull have won the game. But that will change very quickly, and it will condense down a lot over the next 5-6 fixtures, and you'll start seeing the pattern. It's definitely a fun league to be part of, and just because you're the big boys doesn't mean you're going to win it. So we'll see. As for something else that we do, the season train. Train number 1 attempt was this. It was all going swimmingly. We knew it would be a low scoring game in the Forest Leeds, as mentioned, hence why I went for corners, and they couldn't even get to 6 corners. We had 5 corners, so we lost the whole train by 1 corner. As you can see, everything else came in. So we then had to, after the Brentford Tottenham, we then went back and did all the fixtures from Sunday and Monday, which then those obviously won, as you can see. So we're down 83p after the first train attempt and this game week. We also then went on and did some last night, so we are recording Wednesday. We did some last night on Tuesday night, and the first 3 are in. Tonight we have 2, and then on Thursday we have another 1. So if all of that comes in, we'll be up to 149, which is still a loss of 51 pence. So we are still building back up to the stock we were at the beginning, but it was relatively easy last night. There was goals in the first half, I believe. So those are in. Hopefully the 2 tonight, Preston Everton, Bradford Burnley, and then Chelsea Luton tomorrow night. If there's 1 goal in those games, it's a win. So a lot happening. If you're a fan of Fantasy League, which I am, I will put the league in the description below. You can join the league, but here are the top performers of Gameweek 1 in each position. Salakis from Hull, obviously outstanding saves, kept clean sheet against Man United, just pure quality. So he gets 10 points. He's a top goal scorer. He's a top goalkeeper for this week. Defender is De Kuiper from Brighton. Obviously scored a goal, clean sheets, really good. He was the highest scoring player of all this game week, so he is currently number 1. But defensively number 1 as well. Midfielder, this guy Jack Hinchelwood. I've sung his praises for a long time. He's got 16 points, scored 2 goals. Really good, and he will be amazing if he stays fit. He will be up there, and he will no longer be a Brighton player next year. That's my hot take. He will be. Well, he might even be in January. He is that good. He will be in England regular sooner rather than later. But he's very good. Mark my words. And then the striker João Pedro played really well. Scored. He's on 11 points. He is the top goal scorer of this game week. And there we go. We have 1 week down, 37 weeks to go. We'll put that in the description below to join our league. And we may even do some prizes with the winner of the league. We're just trying to build a channel, build a community, and we will start dishing out some prizes. Really get fan debate going on, and just keep growing the channel. We're on episode 19, so I don't expect anything until episode 50 even, but the sooner we get it up and running the better. But as for now, we are currently Wednesday the 26th. We have games tonight and tomorrow, and then it's back to the Premier League. If you're not part of our social media on Facebook, please go ahead and do that. Again, that'll be in the description below. Like and subscribe. We need to grow a channel as quick as we can, and it obviously helps the algorithm and all that jargon if you like and subscribe and comment, etc. But everything is done on our Facebook group. We post up the trains, see how the train's going on, any news you've got, any competitions that we have coming up, because obviously we are doing this just once a week until we can build some sort of team, because it is just me and I've got to record, I've got to edit, I've got to do all these AI posters, etc., and come up with the different things each week. Is very tiring, but I do it all for you guys, and I love it. But doing that while building a business, I have 18 staff to accommodate, 2 kids, house. It's all a lot, but I know down the road it'll be worth it. I'll look back and I'll thank every individual one of you, and we'll get there. So enjoy the rest of the week, enjoy week 2, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Pack of the Net. Thank you.